Every night, thousands of tourists visit the Statue of Liberty. They take pictures, record videos, and leave. But a few years ago, a night security guard recorded something no one could explain. Something moving in the statue's shadow. And the strangest part? There was no one there. It was a quiet night on Liberty Island. The last ferry had already left, and the island was completely empty. Only the wind moved softly through the railings around the statue. Mark Reynolds had been working as a night security guard for 3 years. Most nights were boring. His job was simple. Walk around the island, check the cameras, and make sure no one stayed after closing. But that night felt different. At exactly 1:13 a.m., Mark noticed something strange on one of the security monitors. A shadow, slowly moving across the wall near the base of the statue. At first, he thought it was just the clouds blocking the moonlight. But the movement was wrong. The shadow looked like a person walking. Mark leaned closer to the screen. The camera clearly showed the giant figure of the Statue of Liberty standing tall against the night sky, and below it, a long human shadow slowly stretching across the ground. But when Mark looked outside the window, the area was empty. No tourists, no staff, no one. He grabbed his flashlight and walked outside. The cold wind hit his face as he stepped onto the path near the statue. Everything was silent, too silent. Then suddenly, his radio made a strange static noise. "Mark, do you see it too?" Mark froze. The voice sounded like another guard from the control room. But that was impossible. He was the only one scheduled that night. Mark slowly turned around. Behind him, the giant shadow of the statue stretched across the ground. But there was something wrong. The statue's shadow was moving. Not because of the moon. Not because of the clouds. The shadow was walking, slowly. Step by step, Mark felt his chest tighten. The shadow looked like a tall figure holding a torch, just like the statue. But the shadow's head suddenly turned and faced him. Mark's flashlight flickered. The radio crackled again. "Don't let it see you." Mark quickly turned off the flashlight and stepped behind a wall. His heart was beating so loudly he could hear it in his ears. Slowly, carefully, he peeked around the corner. The shadow was still there, but now it wasn't on the ground anymore. It was climbing the wall behind him, like something was standing right behind him, casting the shadow forward. Mark slowly looked over his shoulder. Nothing, just empty air, but the shadow kept growing larger, closer, and then it raised its arm. The shadow of the torch slowly lifted, as if it was greeting him, or warning him. Mark ran. He ran back into the security office and locked the door. For the next 2 hours, he sat there staring at the monitors, waiting, watching, but nothing appeared again. By sunrise, the island looked normal. The tourists arrived, the ferries returned, and the strange shadow was gone. Mark reported the incident. The security footage was reviewed dozens of times, but the cameras showed something impossible, a shadow moving, without any person creating it. The footage was quietly archived, and Mark never worked another night shift again. But sometimes, tourists taking photos near the Statue of Liberty noticed something strange in their pictures. A second shadow, standing behind them, holding a torch even though there's no one there. So if you ever visit the Statue of Liberty at night, look carefully at the ground, because sometimes the shadow moves before the statue does.